Hello and welcome to Untamed and Unapologetic podcast. My name is Christy. And this is my sister Lara. We are in episode 14, part 2, and we are going to jump right in. We were talking about now we call it the sacred word cunt, and the shift from dirty to divine.
That's
dirty
right.
to divine. That's the big shift. And we're going to start with a prompt or just a sentence, something you to think about. What if every woman began to see their body as sacred? How would the world change if we were just sacred? I mean, honestly, the first thing I think about when I say that, it just like popped in my head is like, well, the beauty industry would suffer a lot.
Yeah, the beauty industry.
The spas, and I have nothing against all this.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
But it's
no,
like,
I don't.
Sometimes when because I constantly, it's like in your life, you're always wanted to fix something. And this is how it's like your life. I mean, I want to fix something or improve something or lift something or tone something.
Tuck something.
It's like tuck something. And then as you
I'm
get
not gonna
older, I'm always
lie.
like, oh my God, I'm pulling stuff back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I was like, what if I just, and then I have to like relax myself. I'm like, I'm just fine, just how I am. Just, it's not that serious. Like really to focus on other than your physical body and just,
Which is really hard.
which is really hard. Yeah, it is. Because again, I believe this underlying program, everything we look at, and I know it's always talked about like magazines looking this way or influencers. And it's like, it's not even their real body half the time. And
part of me, I mean, I'd be honest, like I don't mind looking nice. I mean, and again, I guess it's that underlying programming.
Right. Yeah. And is
Not
there a
gonna
difference
lie.
between, and it's just like, is there a difference between looking like, oh, I have to get my hair, get my hair done or I get my hair dyed or like,
Yeah.
I love wearing makeup. And I was like, oh my gosh, the one day I was like out without makeup and I ran into somebody I knew. I was like, I didn't have any makeup on. And I was like, well, who cares? But it's like, I always have some makeup on, which again, not bad or good. It's just the reclaiming of if we saw ourselves as sacred, like what does that really mean to you? If like I'm completely sacred,
Yeah. How would that?
I would treat myself way differently. Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely put a dent in the beauty and the spa
beauty,
industry.
spa
and
industry,
yeah, there would be no more the Botox and the
fillers and all the other
fillers, and
stuff.
they would yes.
Yes.
That would suffer
That'd be
greatly.
different.
That would be different for sure. Yeah, I think.
I've seen a lot of this, I would say, in like even the dating world. And this is kind of, I don't know if it's, sometimes you see stuff on your own social media that you don't know if other people are saying. And I've seen a lot of like, oh, if men should treat me a certain way because I'm a woman, I'm feminine, like you're the sacred. And I feel like there's this shift going on because we can take care of ourselves now and financially.
Right, yeah.
It's like, but we still want to be treated, most women, like taken care of, both physically, financially. But on the other side of that, I always say, as a woman, are we holding that space as being sacred? Like, I think we're deserving of it if we're holding that space as being like feminine, like we talked about before, like the muse,
Yeah, right.
And sometimes we're in our masculine energy, but we want to be taken. It's like we can't have both.
You can't have both,
It's
right?
like, oh, I do everything. I take care of everything, but I want a man to come in and
we're asking these guys to be guys, but yet we're being guys.
There, yes, that's a perfect way to say it. We're asking men to step and be men, but it's like,
but
I'm
we're not
already
giving them the space.
Yeah,
But we're not giving them the space.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bold.
Yeah, I think
Love
that's
that.
hard. I think that's hard. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of men about dating, being like sort of, single and in my 50s, like it's, I've had a couple guys say it if I've had discussions, it's like, well, wait, you have your own career, you have your own home, yet you expect me to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Like the expectation is we go out and I work too. I have a home too. I maybe have kids that I'm supporting as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I have an ex-wife that I'm also paying child support to or whatever,
Yeah.
But yet I still have to pay for all the dates. It's kind of like, well, wait a minute. You wanted to be liberated and you wanted to have all these things. And now I'm paying for everything too.
Yes.
And And I kind of get that
get it.
perspective. Like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute. Like,
Yes.
where's the, like, oh, okay. Like he has a point.
Yes.
Like,
and I think it's both. I think it's
so
yeah.
like, you kind of have to, yeah. So anyway, we're getting
getting
off
but
track.
that could be its
That's a
own
whole different
topic.
podcast. That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one.
But
coming.
yes. So the sacred. So
Okay.
yeah, but if you looked at your
that's the
body
words.
in a, completely different way, how would that look for the
How would
world?
that
I
look
think
for
it
the
would,
world?
I will say, a lot of us would be in a better headspace probably
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do
relax.
think in generally speaking, more women would support each other. I think there's a lot of unnecessary, and I think this falls away more as women get older, but definitely as younger women, you see a lot of women sort of, the mean girl thing, like women compete against other women for attention from men, obviously,
Yeah.
and it's unnecessary.
No, yeah. I've never.
Yeah. But
I
you
can
see that,
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, there's that. So let's talk about our words.
Because
We're going to talk about each of these words. At one point, sort of were derived from that power or mystery or creation, and they were sort of rebranded in a way that was either shameful or dangerous or negative or maddening or whatever. So these are some of our original words in the root and sort of their sacred origin or meaning. And, if anyone out there knows any more and you want to comment, please, by all means, feel free. But this is just what we were able to find and sort of how these words were demonized. So do you want to start?
With the first one is
our favorite.
Well, we did cunt already.
Cunt.
The womb, divine, female, the source of life. And it was demonized, recast as, vulgar or a sacred portal to reduce to profanity.
Yeah.
So, and then,
this is my favorite.
Okay.
Witch.
Yeah.
Witch. Obviously fun Halloween. I'm all for that. Great. However, witch, the Old English, wiki, the wise woman, healer, herbalist, witch it's a positive.
Yeah.
It really is, but it's branded as, evil.
Wicked witch.
The wicked witch burned at the stake, for her independence and wisdom, really, we can go back to, Salem is just one place, but it was all over Europe. I could do a whole podcast about the witch trials myself, but yeah, that's so witch.
Yeah. And it says it was demonized. They were branded as evil and burned for her wisdom and independence because it's like they're healers, right?
They're healers.
Powerful women. Like, we can't have that.
Can't have that. No, don't want any women helping out. Yeah. Oh,
this next one is interesting. Whore. I don't know about the whore from Hora, Hora, Latin Greek, temple priestess, woman devoted to goddess worship through sacred sexuality. Obviously, now it means twisted for immoral and shameful, right? A whore. But I was like, I'm going to call my friends, you cunt whores. You bunch of whores, cunts. But hold on, the real meaning. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I laugh, but it's like, it's like, oh no, what if I could tell somebody that? It's like, okay, you guys, I'm calling you that, but we're changing the definition. Yeah. I had no idea that there was another definition of it.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the
I didn't know that.
Sexuality. Yeah.
What about hysteria? Some people probably know this. Hysteria from Greek for the womb. And it was used by male physicians to pathologize female emotion, right? And intuition, like this, hysterical. Like, women are weaker and we're going to get rid of this hysteria, they can't handle anything. So,
because we're so emotional. So it's like emotions are tied to hysteria.
They can't handle it. Yeah. Their sexuality, they're hysterical, they're prone to hysteria.
Yeah. Hysteria.
So, but it's meant, it's really the womb, but it's Yeah.
And this
Hysteria.
next,
Crazy.
hysteria,
It's
crazy,
crazy.
yeah. So
We're
these
crazy sexual. Oh, we
my
can't control
God,
ourselves.
hysteria.
When we really know generally who can't control themselves.
Exactly. So this one is a good one also because it definitely has, and I think it's kind of being reclaimed too, but the crone. The crone is like the old crony, it's like you're an old bag. When you think of the word, that's kind of what I like initially think of it. But until recently, I've shifted it because I was like, oh, I want to be an old crone. Like not yet because I'm in the queen era. We'll talk about that coming up too. But it meant wise elder.
And it originally meant crown, another word for crown.
Yeah, another round. Keeper
the keeper
of
of cycles. Yeah.
Yeah. So super powerful word. And the crone is like the leader. As you get older, you have all this, the matriarch.
She's like the
it's
top.
like you shift, into this like wise crone.
And has anyone ever seen like that triple moon symbol, like the triple goddess symbol? If anyone's symbol is like, and if you're not familiar, if you've seen the triple moon, it's like the moon the crescent that looks one way, and then the full moon in the center, and then the crescent that faces the other way. That's a lot of times a symbol for the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Right? So this completion of the cycle of life, and that's the crone tops it off. She finishes the but that's the crone is she's the matriarch. She's important. She's not an old bag but people think the Snow White used to, that story of Snow White, right? Who's the wicked
witch,
old wicked witch that lived? She was the old crone giving out the nasty apple in the woods, to that's the crone, right? That's who you think of, right?
Yes.
That's who you think of in you think of that as the crone, as opposed to
somebody powerful
and
you're gonna go to for advice and
right that's who you get, right? Bitch, we all know that one, we're all familiar, but and it's derived from the female dog, right? And they still use that if you're someone who shows dogs, that that's a that's a term that's still used, and they don't use it negatively in they don't use it negative in that realm. When you talk about, if you go to a dog show and you're someone who works in that area, they don't use it in negative, but the rest of the world sort of uses it that way. And it was once associated with protection, loyalty, and good instincts. And now obviously we know it's used to sort of negative to like a woman who's, overly assertive and sort of nasty, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Yeah.
So the next one is, I guess it's not really a negative.
Negative, but it's just sort of something that something that people don't. The second word you can talk about.
Yeah. So womb, but the second word is yoni.
Yoni,
and
which
like
is another word for womb. But a lot of people aren't familiar with it. It was sort of like erased.
Yeah.
Like we don't here, at least in the US, I think.
Right,
most people don't. I'm guessing there are a lot of women who are like yoni. I've never heard that. Now there's some people that are probably like, oh yes, I'm familiar. But I'm guessing a lot of people are like, I have not heard that term. Yoni. And it's YONI. Just if you weren't familiar. But
this sacred space or creative matrix, and it was erased from our spiritual language. It kind of made, again, you don't hear it a lot because it's kind of taboo. The yoni,
right?
Like
So that was just something that was erased. So maybe not necessarily negative, but just sort of like erased.
Yeah, you don't hear, and even the womb. Like people know what they've heard the term womb, but it's not. It's never like really associated. Again, I associate with it with like strength and energy and this power. It's just like, oh, that's where the baby goes, but it's way more than
it's
energy.
The uterus. Like it's always very
clinical.
Yeah. It's always very clinical. It's not ever powerful and meaningful. It's just like, oh, the baby sits in the uterus. Like it's always just very scientific.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right. Scientific.
Right. There's never anything like beautiful about it. It's just sort of like, oh, and then this attaches to this, and the baby sits here, and it, and then it'll turn and this way and make sure, whatever. Yeah. So it's always very clinical. Temptress, which again, not necessarily. Yeah, it is a little bit. It's a little bit negative in the sense it's not nasty, the term.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit negative in that if you were called a temptress, you would be called that
Like,
because, oh, she's
you're
a temptress.
sly,
She's,
yeah,
yes, she's a
cunning.
temptress. You know, she was tempting my
Yeah,
boyfriend,
yeah.
my partner, and then that's also um,
Mm.
uh, associated with Eve, right? Well, supposedly
Oh, yes.
the
Yeah.
first woman
Mm-hmm.
who was not, if you've done any research,
Oh.
that was Lilith.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole
Oh,
nother-
don't even get me started.
That's a whole nother topic.
If you, and I'm sorry if you're
It's in the, yeah.
you know what? I'm going to polarize a lot of people right now. If
Yeah.
you're a Catholic or a Christian.
But that's just one thing, like even
But if you haven't
growing
done
up
any
Catholic
research and you
yeah.
don't even know who Lilith is, she was demonized. That's a whole, don't even get me started.
Yeah, no, that's a good one to talk about. But even like but it's staying open-minded too, because as somebody that grew up in the Christian Catholic, it's like when I started like to question all these things I was taught, it's really powerful because you're like, oh, there's other ways of looking at things, and there's like a history before Christianity out there. And I found it super interesting. That's when you talk about
She was demonized,
Lilith.
that she was, this evil woman, but she was around before Eve.
And it's still thought of like,
and she's not evil, at least, if you do some, but the Catholic Church made her, again, I know there's some people that are going to believe what they want to believe, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. They can, and that's all right. But I've learned some things over the years that are different, and at least you should be at least open to the conversation. Yes. But if you're not, that's okay too. But for people who are interested, we will at some point talk about that, and we'll have some other people on that can talk, that can speak to that, who have some history, that are good at that. But so temptress, so an archetype of awakening and curiosity, and obviously, so it's written down as like a sinner and sort of the downfall of man, right? You're a temptress, right? a siren, right? And then can I do the last one too?
The last one, yeah.
Lunatic, which also comes from Luna, the moon.
This is interesting, yeah.
Luna, women who follow the moon cycles or intuition were called unstable. And like so much of what goes on in the world, like how many things ebb and flow with the moon? I mean, if you just think of like wave cycles, like tides, right? Like ebb and flow with the moon, and
even with like the holidays and
you get into
that, like all the esoteric, like the calendar.
I mean, so many things. But so women who followed that were, moon cycles. They're like unstable, and it's really sacred, the moon, and yet lunatic. So it's sort of become, they've taken our sacred moon and made it unsacred.
Oh, there is
Don't do that.
Yes. Yes, it's sacred. Oh, I'll do that.
And I'm not saying I don't use these words either. So it's just,
This one actually, I didn't realize there's one. We had priestess, and it's not really demonized. It's just no one really uses the word like that modern language.
Yeah, it's not modern language, right?
It's the mediator between worlds, the embodiment of the divine feminine. And I love, it's like, we don't have anybody. I mean, I have no one in my life that I consider a priestess. Like,
right, there just aren't any.
Priestess energy. Yeah, they've been taken out of.
They're just gone.
Gone. Yeah, there's no priestesses.
Now it's like male clergy. That's all.
Yeah, the divine energy. So it's suppressed, replaced by male clergy system.
Yeah,
so
it's just men.
It's all men. So we don't have any high priestesses. We need to bring back a high priestess. So that's why we basically, one of the reasons we started this podcast.
Yeah,
it's like to reclaim this energy that I think a lot, and I think it's like spreading, and it's like. Some people say it's like, oh, is it just like a fad? And I'm like, no, it's like a reclamation. It's not. It's just like a returning. So we want to make sure it's not just something thought of as a fad. It's like, no, it's a remembrance.
Yeah.
It's a remembrance,
right.
I think. Yeah. And that's why a lot of women resonate with this.
Right. And what's going on
what's
here.
going on.
I think so. Yeah. So we just we want to just talk about the deeper truth of some words, and just sort of thinking about that as you move forward with words and how they're used. And I certainly am, I still use a lot of these words the way that, they've shifted into, I mean, obviously.
Oh, me too, because it's our whole life. We've been, again, so programming.
It's programmed, and, and definitely try and shift out of it. But, reclaiming them, isn't about, rebelling. It's about sort of remembering, it's restoring sort of what was sacred. So just sort of like thinking about that next time you go to use maybe one of those words in a negative way, and maybe just
even like spreading the info, but like, do you know where the word
right,
cunt
like
came from?
right, like even just or doing a little research of your own, like,
Yeah.
okay, I listened to these two maniacs on this podcast, like, and they said this, like, what do these two jackasses really know? Like, go ahead and do a little research. Like maybe we've, piqued a little interest in, a little curiosity. And
it was just from somebody like on Instagram telling me the word cunt might had different meaning. Like, what? I never heard that. And I was like, I got to dig into this.
Right. So
I got to spread the word. So it's like, we all have to start to spread the word, right? Like,
right. So, hey,
kind of
we can do that for you. We're doing all right. We're doing okay.
We're spreading the word. With that.
Right.
Thank you for joining us. Yes. Like, subscribe, all the good things. Share this.
Yes.
And as
with the rest of the cunts out there.
Yes, with all the cunts, the bitches and the whores. all the cunts, bitches, and whores in your life. Share.
And we mean that.
With that, stay unapologetic
and untamed.